Hi, everyone. Welcome to our market update. Wanted to start it off strong. We look at this daily mortgage rate
Ooh.
daily, and rates are good right now,
Yeah,
or
it's
better.
actually it's been a phenomenal week for interest rates. Once again, all week long, I got different phone calls. Careful who you work with because the rates are going to widely vary about what you're going to get. But this side is very credible. And even though it doesn't look like a massive amount of change, if you remember last week when we showed you this, the 30-year fix was at 7.10 on this site. This is probably 90% of your lenders are going to be giving you these rates. And, I would just tell you, careful who you work with because you could do way better than what's advertised here by about 0.75 lower in rate, which is a substantial amount for most people out there. It's probably around $300 to $400 less per month, if not more, depending on the loan amount. But overall, it's been a great week. The Fed came out and said they want to lower their balance sheet. So that's good. That's going to help interest rates in the future. We had initial jobless claims come out, not bad either. And people who are getting fired seems to be getting muted. So that's like slowing down. And home price appreciation, which was interesting on Core Logic, predicted home price appreciation between 4.5 to 5. And I know that's probably not what anybody wants to hear, but at the same time, the things that are going on right now to make basically US Treasuries more desirable, if that does come to fruition, you will watch rates naturally come down without the Fed doing absolutely anything just because of what's called the money savings. So whether, not to be political, whether you like Doge or you don't like Doge, but if you like cutting waste and saving money and lowering your interest rates, that's what Doge will do with that because it makes our bonds more attractive to investors, which means basically the yield will go down, the price goes up, mortgage rates come down naturally, and the Fed didn't do anything. So we're in a very interesting time right now, Vinny, overall with what's going on with mortgages. And it's good to finally have a good week like we had. Like if you look over there, look at the 52-week low when it went down to 6.1. That was about 5 months ago. That was like a 1 week window where a lot of people I refinanced all dropped down to 5.875, 5.75 on their mortgages. That was phenomenal. So, moral of the story, make sure your lender is paying attention to the market, make sure your lender is watching them, and make sure you actually choose the right lender because even though these rates in front of us are good, you can actually do a lot better than this.
Also, too, if this is your first time watching us, please subscribe. Also, I'm gonna put the numbers right there. There's our phone numbers, David and mine, but it's also in the show notes, so you can pull it up. You'll see the clicker going below. I'll give it another second before I switch it back to the active properties. We're getting close to 4,000. Before I do anything else, I want to talk about this program that
That's amazing.
Yeah, so if you know anyone that's a teacher, it looks like for North County, the money's gonna go fast. There's only $1 million in the account, and they're talking about a minimum $40,000 for each person that gets accepted. So that money's gonna go pretty quick. So if you know any teachers that are looking to purchase, please reach out, call myself or David, because that could be pretty helpful for them.
I wish you would have done that $1 million in the Dr. Evil voice, like on Austin Powers. $1 million, because $1 million doesn't go as far as it used to, and at 40,000 a pop, if I'm a consumer out there and I'm a teacher, especially any teachers, I would tell them this right away because that's a smoking good deal.
Yeah. Okay. And something else, someone was asking me about the other day. So this is a platform that I pay for. It's called Property Radar. Paid it for it. I've been having paid it for ages. But something I want to just kind of give an idea to everyone. So there's 786,000 properties in San Diego County. I know Borrego Springs. You can see basically the area right here. So those are all single families and condos. Okay. So the whole area, San Diego County, that's what we're looking at. And now the person was like, okay, well, what's basically how many people are underwater? 11,000 people out of 786,000.
Wow.
11,000 are.
We've been talking about this for a while. That's not that much at all.
It's not that much. Now, high equity. That basically means that they have about 60% of equity or more. 501,000 people have 60% or more equity in their property. So you're talking about out of 786, 500,000 have basically a 60% or more equity.
That, I mean,
when people say that, oh my gosh, the market's going to crash, everything's going to happen. When you just kind of look at these numbers right here, 460 properties in pre-foreclosure, 200 auction. That's not going to make a dent. All right?
No, it's not going to make a dent. And I'm glad you brought this up because it's funny. I listen to a lot of people who are telling me about, the real estate's not that secure. You can't rely on it always. It's not always a good bet. It's expensive. Let me do a full circle here. And for those of you out there who pay Social Security, which is probably most of you, and anyone out there who lives on Social Security, you may want to Google or Chat GTP or Gronk, when will Social Security go broke? And they're estimated to go broke by 2034. So if you're banking on making money through the U.S. government and Social Security and being paid, you may want to hedge your bets with what Vinnie just went over with the amount of equity in properties, because if Social Security does go broke, if this is correct, and if nothing stays, you may want to have a house worth a lot of money that you can sell later, because look at that. You still got time, and you make a lot of money in 9 years on a house here if Social Security goes broke. I just thought it was an interesting tie-in because there's been a lot of talk about that lately, about Social Security and when it's going broke and what's getting canceled. And everyone can Google it themselves and take a look. You can see ChatGTP right now just tells you funds will be deleted by 2034 if no changes are made.
Yeah, I mean, the point I was kind of getting across is like, okay, well, the values are going up. The values are going up.
They don't always go up. Sometimes we go through dips and valleys.
We're definitely,
longer term goes up.
And you see the, and I'll bring that clicker up there. You've seen the values go up. Now, the condo market, again, we've been talking about that. It's a different market because there's a lot of changes that happened last year.
A lot of insurance problems, too, that we touched on. You may want to.
The detached market is a different market. I mean, we've had the clicker here before where you've seen actually the values are starting to go up again on it with rates start sliding going down. I know that's something crazy.
But it's something. We haven't got to do that in a while, Vinny. Come on now. Lately,
we talked about it. What would happen is, I mean, we're getting in, like, you said it last week that you got some people in at like low sixes, right?
Yeah, low sixes. My norm lately has been 6.375 to 6.5 APR add 0.125, but the majority of the time I've been at 6.375 APR add 0.125, which is nothing. And that's literally like, that's 0.625 lower than 90% of people out there.
What happens if we get into basically the fives?
Oh my gosh. Everybody wants us to get into the fives. I personally don't. I want home values to kind of get dragged and beaten up a little bit so the consumer is rewarded.
I agree with you. I'm just saying, what happens if we get into the fives? We're already seeing people, okay, I need to get into the property. I need to get into the property.
More buyers will come out of the woodwork. It'll become another one of those shoot shows. Like if you remember during the pandemic, everyone complained. Oh my gosh, it's 50,000 over. They paid $100,000 over. Yeah, they also got an interest rate of 2.5%. Yeah. Never seeing that again.
Yeah, and again, if you watch our last video too, assumables. If you're putting a good amount of money down, maybe talk to your realtor about looking at assumable properties. We talked about the website last time, but I mean there are different avenues. I would say for the most part, if you're looking in that $1 million under pricing, and you're paying basically right now, let's say around $4,000 of rent, it might be a good time for you to purchase.
Yep, I would agree with that. If you're paying $4,000 in rent and you want to buy a house, like what you're looking for some people, like let's just say 800, let's say 7 to 850. That's a good area for you.
Now, if you're paying $6,000 in rent and you're looking at the 1.8 million,
oh man,
the baby might be potential
rent program.
But then, guys, we try to keep 10 minutes. Please reach out if you have any questions or anything we can help you out.
Thank you.